Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of our show, Terry.
Okay, everybody, can we just take a second to appreciate award season? Because honestly, this is my Super Bowl. I'm not that big into the Super Bowl, but award season, I am so excited about. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Music and Me. I am your host, Terry, and today we are talking about two of my favorite things in the entire world: music and award shows. And not just any award shows, we're diving straight into the Golden Globes and the Oscars. Specifically, the songs that made us laugh, cry, get chills, and immediately add them to our playlist. I have always loved award shows, as I mentioned last week in my Grammy episode. All award shows. The speeches, the surprises, the dramatic music when someone talks too long. I mean, give me all of it. But if I'm being honest, the Oscars have always had a very special place in my heart. They're one of my favorite award shows ever. I mean, I have a whole ritual surrounding the award shows. I make my predictions. I watch the ceremony with my fake Oscars. It's a whole thing. And I've done that for years. They are one of my favorite award shows ever. There's just something about the glamour, the history, and the way that movies and music come together that feels so magical to me. And when it comes to the Best Original Song category, I am definitely locked in. Because these aren't just songs, they're moments. They tell stories, they capture emotions in a way only music can, and sometimes they end up living way beyond the movie they came from. So today, we're spotlighting the 2026 Golden Globe and Oscar nominated songs. The ones that lit up the award season, crossed over between ceremonies, and gave us everything from powerful ballads to unexpected standouts. We'll talk about what these songs are about, why they connected with people, and what makes them award season worthy. So grab your imaginary red carpet invite, get comfortable, and let's celebrate the music that stole the spotlight. Because when movies sing, I am definitely all in. All right, so now that the award season has officially kicked off, let's start where it all began this year: the Golden Globes. The Globes have already been held, which means we've seen the red carpet looks, the acceptance speeches, and yes, a few surprises that made everyone immediately start rethinking their Oscar predictions. I have always loved the Golden Globes because they feel like the warm-up act for the Oscars. They set the tone. They get the conversation started, and when it comes to the music, they often give us our first big clue about which songs might go all the way. The Best Original Song category at the Golden Globes is always one of my favorites because it's where movie magic and music really collide. These songs aren't just playing over the credits, they're part of the story, part of the emotion, and sometimes the one thing you can't stop thinking about long after the movie ends. This year's nominees gave us a really interesting mix: emotional, cinematic, powerful, and in some cases, totally unexpected. And while not every Golden Globe nominee ends up making it to the Oscars, this category always sparks the big question: is this the song that we're going to be talking about all award season? So let's break it down, starting with the song that didn't just get nominated, it walked away with the Golden Globe. Speaking of golden, that is the first song. Golden from KPop Demon Hunters took home the award for Best Original Song, as I mentioned last week, because it's also nominated for a Grammy. And honestly, the moment it was announced, it just felt right. Golden is one of those songs that immediately grabs your attention. It's powerful, emotional, and full of confidence, and it perfectly matches the energy of the film, which is awesome, by the way. K-Pop Demon Hunters, great film. There's this sense of empowerment running through it, like stepping into who you are and owning it completely. And that's something that really connected with listeners. It's bold, it's modern, and it feels fresh in a way that really stood out this year. What I loved most about Golden is the way it works on so many levels. It's a song that absolutely belongs in the movie, but it's also one you can listen to on its own and still feel the impact. And I listen to this song all the time. I love this song so much, as I mentioned last week. It's the kind of track that makes you want to turn the volume up and feel unstoppable. And I think that's a huge reason why it resonated with both audiences and awards voters. Winning the Golden Globe instantly put Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters at the center of the awards season conversation. It went from being a standout nominee to the song everyone was watching. And for someone like me who lives for award shows and these moments, that win made everything even more exciting because suddenly the question became, is this just the beginning for Golden? Now, even though Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters took home the trophy, the category was packed. And I mean packed with songs that each felt like they came from completely different worlds, which is honestly what made this year so interesting. Let's start with Dream as One from Avatar, Fire and Ash. This song is pure cinematic emotion. It has that big sweeping sound that feels like it was meant to echo through a theater. It's about unity, connection, and shared purpose, very much in line with the Avatar universe. You can practically see the visuals just by listening to it, and it feels like one of those songs that was crafted specifically for an award season moment. Then we have I Lied to You from Sinners, which couldn't be more different in tone. This song is intense and emotionally raw. It leans into guilt, truth, and complicated relationships, and it doesn't try to soften the edges. It's one of those songs that sits with you after it ends. It's not flashy, not loud, but incredibly powerful in its honesty. The kind of song that award voters tend to really respect. Wicked for Good made a big impression in this category with 2 nominations, which honestly feels very fitting for a film rooted in musical storytelling. No Place Like Home taps into the themes of belonging, identity, and finding where you truly fit, something that feels deeply emotional and very relatable. It's also sung by Cynthia Erivo, so who wouldn't love this song? I love this song. Meanwhile, The Girl in the Bubble is more introspective and character driven, and it's sung by Ariana Grande, which also means it's incredible. It feels personal and almost like you're being let into a private emotional moment, which is exactly what musical theater does best. And then there's Train Dreams from Train Dreams, a song that feels quiet, reflective, and almost poetic. This one isn't trying to grab your attention, it gently pulls you in. It's rooted in mood and atmosphere, and it feels very intentional. It's the kind of song that grows on you the more you sit with it, and the kind that awards voters often gravitate toward because of its subtlety. What really stood out to me about this lineup is how none of these songs felt interchangeable. Each one had a clear identity, a clear purpose, and a strong connection to the story it came from. So, even though only one could win, this was one of those categories where you could genuinely make a case for every single nominee. And that's what makes this year's Golden Globe Best Original Song race so much fun to watch. So, once the Golden Globes wrapped up and the confetti settled, this is where my favorite part of the awards season really kicks in, the speculating. Because as much as the Golden Globes are a celebration, they're also a giant clue, a teaser trailer, if you will, for what might happen next. And this is the moment where everyone starts asking the same question. Which of these songs is just getting started, and which ones have reached the end of the road? Not every Golden Globe nominee makes the jump to Academy Awards, and that's what makes this transition so fascinating. The Oscars play by different rules. They tend to lean a little more traditional, a little more emotional, and sometimes a little more serious. So, while the Globes can celebrate a wide range of styles, the Oscars narrow the field, and suddenly the race feels much more intense. This year, a few songs managed to carry that Golden Globe momentum straight into the Oscar nominations, proving that they weren't just award season favorites, but serious contenders. Others, despite being beautiful, powerful, and totally deserving, didn't quite make the cut. And honestly, that's always one of the hardest parts of the awards season. But this is also where things get really exciting for me because the songs that do make it to the Oscars usually have that extra something, whether it's emotional weight, storytelling, or a connection to the film that just hits differently. So now that the Golden Globes have set the stage, let's turn our attention to the 2026 Oscar nominees for Best Original Song. The songs that survived the first round captured the Academy's attention and are officially in the running for Hollywood's biggest night. And trust me, this lineup gives us plenty to talk about. Okay, so now we've arrived at the Academy Awards. This is the big one. And listen, I love all award shows, but the Oscars, they are truly one of my favorites ever and always have been. There's just something about them. The history, the glamour, the orchestra playing people off, the emotional speeches, it all feels like a love letter to storytelling. And when music is part of that, I'm completely in. The Best Original Song category at the Oscars always feels extra special because this is where the Academy really leans into story. These songs aren't just catchy, they're meaningful. They exist to serve the film, deepen the emotion, and leave a lasting impression. And leading the pack this year is a song we already know very well, or at least I do. Let's start with Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. After winning the Golden Globe, Golden came into the Oscar race with serious momentum. And honestly, it earned it. This song is about empowerment, confidence, and stepping fully into who you are. It's bold, modern, and unapologetic. And it brings something fresh to the Oscars that we don't always see. What really stands out to me is how Golden feels both current and timeless at the same time. It's rooted in pop and K-pop influences, but emotionally, it's universal. It makes you feel strong, it makes you feel seen, and that combination, cultural impact plus emotional connection, is a big reason why it resonated with so many people this award season. From a movie perspective, it fits the story perfectly. From an awards perspective, it stands out in a category that often leans traditional. And as someone who loves seeing the Oscars evolve and celebrate different kinds of music, I love that this song is part of the conversation. Golden didn't just make the jump from the Golden Globes to the Oscars, it announced itself as a real contender. And that makes this race even more exciting. All right, let's shift gears for a moment because the next nominee takes us into a very different emotional space. I Lied to You from Sinners is one of those songs that doesn't try to dazzle you, it tries to tell the truth. And honestly, that can be even more powerful. This song is quiet, heavy, and deeply emotional. It lives in that complicated space of regret, honesty, and broken trust. And you can feel that weight in every note. What makes I Lied to You so striking is how closely it's tied to the film's story. It doesn't just play in the background, it reflects the heart of the characters and their struggles. It feels intimate, almost like you're listening in on a confession. And those are the moments the Academy tends to love, because it's storytelling at its most vulnerable. Musically, it's understated but beautiful. There's nothing flashy here, no big dramatic belt or sweeping production. Instead, it leans into mood and emotion, letting the lyrics do the work. It's the kind of song that lingers after it ends. You might not hum it walking out of the theater, but you definitely feel it. And I also love that this song represents a different side of award season music. Not everything has to be a huge cinematic moment to matter. Sometimes the quietest songs leave the deepest impact. I Lied to You absolutely feels like one of those songs. Okay, now let's talk about Dear Me by Diane Warren from Relentless. Diane Warren, the songwriting legend herself. I mean, come on. This is her 17th Oscar nomination. 17th. Can you imagine that level of talent, consistency, and staying power? I love award shows, but moments like this, when a true music icon shows up in the nominees, makes me fangirl every single time. Dear Me is classic Diane Warren, heartfelt, soaring, and designed to hit you right in the chest. It's reflective, uplifting, and full of wisdom because it's literally like the singer is talking to their younger self, reminding themselves of strength, hope, and perseverance. Honestly, it's kind of impossible not to feel moved while listening to it. And here's the thing: Diane Warren knows how to write a song for award season. She knows what the Academy responds to. Every note, every lyric, every swell of emotion is crafted to resonate. It's cinematic, it's powerful, and it's exactly the kind of song that makes people feel something while also leaving them thinking about life, choices, and growth. For me, this nomination isn't just about the song, it's a celebration of Diane Warren's career. She's a legend, and anytime her music shows up in a category like this, I can't help but be completely in awe. Now, let's slow things down a little bit and talk about Train Dreams from Train Dreams. This is one of those songs that doesn't shout at you, it sneaks in and lingers. It's quiet, poetic, and emotionally reflective. And that's exactly what makes it stand out in this category. Train Dreams is built on atmosphere and feeling. It's the kind of song where every note and every pause matters. Listening to it, you can almost picture the story unfolding. The journeys, the memories, the bittersweet emotions of the characters. It's subtle and almost haunting, and it really rewards patience. The more you sit with it, the more you feel it. I love this song because it shows that award season music doesn't have to be big and flashy to make an impact. Sometimes the songs that feel quiet and introspective stick with you the longest. And Train Dreams is a perfect example of that. It's thoughtful, delicate, and deeply tied to the heart of the movie. It's the kind of nominee that proves the Oscars appreciate emotional storytelling in song, even when it's understated. And honestly, that's part of the reason I love the Oscars so much, because songs like this get their moment in the spotlight too. And finally, we have Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, a song that feels like a gentle exhale after the big, bold, and emotional moments we've just talked about. This one is poetic, reflective, and carries a sense of hope and nostalgia that's just so cinematic. What I love about Sweet Dreams of Joy is how it balances delicacy with emotion. It's soft, yes, but every lyric, every note, every chord feels purposeful. It has that classic award season quality, the kind of song that quietly sneaks into your heart and stays there. And because it's tied so beautifully to the story of the movie, it feels like it couldn't exist anywhere else. It's the perfect example of why I love this category so much. Not every song needs to belt out power notes or take over a theater to be meaningful. Sometimes the Oscars celebrates the songs that let the story breathe, that give the characters and audience a moment to reflect, dream, and feel. And Sweet Dreams of Joy does all of that beautifully. So there you have it, the full lineup of 2026 Oscar nominees for Best Original Song. From bold, empowering anthems like Golden to intimate, reflective moments like Train Dreams and Sweet Dreams of Joy. This category really showcases the incredible range of movie music today. From Golden, from K-Pop Demon Hunters taking the Golden Globe, to these incredible Oscar nominees, this year's Best Original Song category is giving us so much to talk about. Of course, my personal favorite is Golden. I just love it. It's bold, powerful, emotional, and honestly, it makes me feel unstoppable every time I listen. I really, really hope it wins the Oscars like it did the Golden Globes, but you never know. My gut says that it probably will, but let's be honest, award shows are totally unpredictable. Anything can happen, and that's part of what makes watching them so thrilling. But now I have to get a little real for a second. I am still upset that none of the songs from Wicked for Good even got nominated at the Oscars. In fact, that movie didn't receive a single nomination this year, which upsets me so much. And as someone who loved that movie, it was honestly my favorite film of the year, it stings a lot. The songs were beautiful, emotional, and so well crafted. I really wish the Academy had given them the recognition they deserve, but sometimes the awards don't match fans' hearts, right? Overall, though, I'm just so excited about the music this season. From empowering anthems to quiet, reflective gems, the songs nominated for Golden Globes and Oscars this year show just how much power music has in film. They tell stories, pull at your emotions, and sometimes even stay with you long after the credits roll. And that's it for today's episode. If you're anything like me, you are now ready to watch the Oscars with all the excitement, nerves, and dramatic cheering that award shows deserve. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get to celebrate Golden taking home the ultimate prize. Thanks for listening, everybody. I can't wait to see what happens at the Oscars this year. I mean, did the Oscars get it right? Or do you agree with me that Wicked for Good was totally snubbed? It still upsets me so much. Until next time, keep singing, keep dancing, and keep loving the music in your life. Peace out, everybody.
This has been the Music in Me podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a beat.